Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. So obviously tonight we just saw the fight between Oleksandr Usyk and Daniel Dubois. The rematch, a little bit different in terms of the scenery. I'm out in Vegas for the Manny Pacquiao against Mario Barrios fight. But before that, obviously, we watched the Daniel Dubois against Oleksandr Usyk. Very highly anticipated rematch. What I said before the fight was I thought Daniel Dubois had a serious chance. In the first fight, obviously the big controversy where he dropped Oleksandr Usyk with a body shot. Some people thought it was too low. Others thought, it was on the belt line. But ultimately, look, the referee called it a low blow and Oleksandr Usyk won the first fight by stoppage. So I was, going into this fight thinking off the back of three, incredible wins. I think for Daniel Dubois, it's always been his head and his mindset, really. I think there's a very good fighter there, but, always, he's, a few times he's come unstuck, in my opinion, because of the mental game. Tonight I think it was a little bit of that as well. I thought Daniel Dubois from round one, he just looked so tense. He looked so tense in that ring, and he needed to just, really settle down. I think he needed, to get past round one or round two, and just settle down in that fight. And it seems to me that, for Daniel Dubois, I think this is a, recurring theme now. I think when he's not comfortable in that ring, it just always seems to unravel for him. Again, I don't want to, I don't want to disrespect Daniel Dubois. I don't think if you lose a fight, you can just, write someone off immediately. But again, I think he felt that pressure from Usyk, and I think, I wouldn't say that he looked for a way out, but it was just too easy for me, and I'm very disappointed because I think Daniel Dubois is a much better fighter than he showed tonight. So look, again, I think you have to give a lot of credit to Oleksandr Usyk. He is by far the best heavyweight on the planet. And he's been the best heavyweight on the planet for a long time. He's probably been the best heavyweight on the planet since he beat Anthony Joshua, to be honest with you. He just really solidified it against Tyson Fury, and now he becomes undisputed again. So I don't even know really where Oleksandr Usyk goes after this. Obviously, Frank Warren after the fight mentioned Joseph Parker, but again, I feel like Oleksandr Usyk beats Joseph Parker relatively comfortably. I don't think that there's a heavyweight on the planet that is anywhere near as good as Usyk. Okay, this man has fought the number two in Tyson Fury, beat him 2 times, and he beat him comfortably to me. They were a bit closer than obviously tonight, but I felt like he won both fights. He's beat Daniel Dubois by stoppage twice, and he beat Anthony Joshua comfortably twice as well. So for me, you have to give this guy pound for pound number one on the planet, either number one or number two, between him and Naoya Inoue. But other than that, again, very disappointed in Daniel Dubois. I think he's, again, I think there's something where, if I'm his trainer, I would have just got him to settle down. Yes, you got dropped, and yes, Oleksandr Usyk was outclassing you. But you've got that one-punch knockout power. And for me, I think he should have just, stayed in that ring and stayed calm. And, yes, Usyk is a better technical boxer than you. But all it takes is one shot. And again, I don't think that Daniel Dubois went to the body enough. He was headhunting. He was just, it pretty much was just that right hand. And I think there was a massive gap in skill tonight, to be honest with you. I think there was a massive gap in skill. I think there was a massive gap in terms of level. And he just lost to the better fighter, and sometimes that happens. So look, I don't think I'm being too harsh on him by saying I'm a bit disappointed. I'm not going to write off Daniel Dubois. I do think that it is going to be a difficult road for him back. I have to be honest, because that is now 3 times that you've got stopped in your career. Obviously Joe Joyce, Oleksandr Usyk the first time, and now this. It was a great shot that Usyk threw that stopped Daniel Dubois. But I think, again, part of that was the fact that Daniel Dubois, even a few rounds before, to me, he just looked like a beaten man in there. And Oleksandr Usyk was just so accurate, so much quicker, so much sharper. Daniel Dubois looked tired even after round 1. And I think a big part of that is just the fact that he was so tense. He was so tense. So, look, again, you have to give a lot of credit to Oleksandr Usyk. I'm someone that, I like Oleksandr Usyk. I think he's a great champion. He's a role model to many people. Obviously, I am British, so I did want Daniel Dubois to, do well and, bring the undisputed back to Britain. But look, it wasn't meant to be, and I think you have to congratulate the better fighter. So, congratulations to Oleksandr Usyk, again, exceptional fighter. Let me know what you guys thought of the fight and the performance. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you guys on the next one.